Do you want to learn how to source more books on Amazon? Well, you've made it to the right video, because in this video, I'm going to be breaking down 7 various methods that you can find high profit books to resell on Amazon. I'm going to be sharing some beginner methods that anybody can do, some intermediate methods that maybe you want to do after 3-4 months, and then I'm going to also share 2 advanced methods. I would say after you've been doing, book selling for about 6 to 12 months to look into this, because you could really grow and scale. If you're new to my channel, my name is Steve Rakin with RakinProfit.com, and I've been making videos all about Amazon and reselling for over 10 years. I've sold thousands of books on Amazon, and I love it. I also taught my mom, she's 69 years old, how to sell on Amazon, and she started with books over 10 years ago. So books hold a special place in my heart, and I'm super pumped up to share with you the 7 different ways you could find books. So without further ado, let's dive into this video. Method number 1 is going to thrift stores. Now, if you're brand spanking new to, maybe looking on YouTube to learn about selling books, this might be something new to you, like, wow, you can go to thrift stores. But if you've been researching this for a while, I'm sure you already know you can go to places like Goodwill, Salvation Army, Savers. We have a bunch of Savers thrift stores in our area. Even mom and pop thrift stores. Thrift stores are a great way to find books. You can typically buy them for $1 or $2, although at my Savers, they're now $3.99 each. But if I purchase, I believe 4, I get 1 free. Go to your thrift stores, get a scanning app like Scoutly or Scout IQ, or you could even use the Amazon Seller app and get a barcode scanner like the Natamu scanner and just go scan all the books at the thrift stores. Now, it is pretty competitive and it's hit or miss. If you're one of the only people there, or they just brought out a whole bunch of books, I'm talking the employees, you can hit some home runs, but this is a great way to get started. It's very low risk. All you have to do is open up Google Maps on your phone, type in thrift store, and look for your nearest thrift store, and just go all the time. One tip that I gave my mom when she started going to thrift stores was to get a little journal and leave it in your car. And every time you visit a thrift store, write down after you leave the thrift store, how did you do? How many books did you find? How much potential profit did you make? And write down what time you went to the thrift store, because you want to learn what times are best. There's certain times the employees are going to be bringing out new inventory. And you're also going to find that there's certain thrift stores which become honey holes. These are, thrift stores where maybe there's not a lot of competition. You just seem to hit jackpot after jackpot. So keep a journal and track the best thrift stores. And over time, you're going to find the best days, the best times, and the best thrift stores to go to. But this is the best way to get started for a beginner. Method number 2 is library sales. Now, library sales are definitely more competitive, I would say, compared to thrift stores. There's a great website. It's called booksalefinder.com. And essentially, you can find all the library sales that are selling books or having book selling events in your area. Now, it depends on the library sale. Some of them are going to be mega competitive and you're going to have hundreds of people there and a lot of resellers and a lot of scanners. Other ones are going to be a bit smaller. I've gone to library sales where I've literally made thousands of dollars profit with no competition. And then on the other side of the coin, I've gone to library sales where there's like 100 people. And I've literally had a panic attack at a library sale before because it was so much competition. It was just like, it was too much. But library sales are great because typically you can get books very cheap. There's typically a lot of high quality books, especially at the library sales where maybe they've been saving up books for months and they have a huge event. Whereas at a thrift store, a lot of times you got to be there at the right time and you've got to go often. So library sales, can be mega profitable. They could also be very competitive, but going to a library sale is a great way to be able to find books. You just want to make sure you understand how to scan books and analyze books and you're comfortable analyzing books, because you really got to be moving quick, especially if it's a competitive library sale. Now, method 3 and 4, I'm going to combine because you're going to run into both of these on a Saturday morning or even a Sunday or a Monday, and that's going to be garage sales and estate sales. Garage sales are great because typically people are just giving away books for free or for pennies on the dollar. There's typically not a lot of booksellers at a garage sale. When you think of a garage sale, it's mostly people going after antiques or fishing stuff or, just household items. A lot of times books, I can go to a garage sale at noon, at 1 p.m. in the afternoon, hours after what I like to call the golden hour, which is typically the first hour or two a garage sale is open. And those books can be sitting there, and I'm talking scanning textbooks that make $50, $70, rare book sets that are mega profitable. I've done this time and time again. The downside to garage sales is a lot of times they're not going to have books, but if they do have books, you can make a lot of money just due to people don't really care about them. They don't, they're not scanning them. They don't understand the value. They're just taking up space in the house. And estate sales as well. Estate sales are great because you can typically find really old books, vintage books. Now, a lot of times at estate sales, you're not going to be able to just scan the barcodes. You're going to have to manually look them up on the Amazon Seller app or scan the cover on the Amazon Seller app, because many times the older books aren't going to have barcodes. They might not even have an ISBN inside. So you have to really get a good feel for how to look up books manually. And also you need to get a good feel for, what books are worth picking up, because a lot of times with the old vintage books, it might say, on the scanning app, you could sell this for $150, $200, but it might have 0 sales, 0 e-score, maybe like a 5 million rank. So you really got to get a feel and make sure that you don't overpay at an estate sale, because, at estate sales, sometimes the people are giving away books dirt cheap. Other times they're really charging a lot of money. So you have to understand, how to analyze books and understand sell-through rates, so on and so forth. But garage sales, estate sales, fantastic ways to be able to find books. So on the weekend, especially on Saturdays, look for the garage sales. Estate sales are typically on Sundays, even Mondays. Great way to find books. I've made a lot of money with these methods. So go out there, scan some books at these locations, and you're going to make some money. Method number 5, this is another local method, is to look on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. I would say Facebook Marketplace. Craigslist kind of died a couple of years ago, but a lot of times people will post up their textbooks on Facebook Marketplace, and more often than not, you can get some great deals. The downside is you are going to have to typically go meet them if they're not offering shipping. And if you didn't know, some sellers on Facebook Marketplace not only offer local pickup, but they also offer shipping. So take a look to see if they are shipping the book and check out, what the shipping charges are and make sure it makes sense. But I found textbooks for $15, $20, $30 that are selling for $70, $80, $90, $100. It does take a little bit more work, takes a little bit more time. It's not as easy to just scan the books because sometimes you're not going to have the barcode, so you're having to scan the cover or manually look it up. Make sure, of course, if you're going to be flipping textbooks anywhere, but especially from Facebook Marketplace, that you run the books through a program called Books Run Counterfeit Calculator. It's 100% free, and essentially you put in the ISBN number and it'll let you know if it's likely or highly likely to be counterfeit. So you don't want to be picking up counterfeit books. I've seen a lot of them on Facebook Marketplace, but again, it's a great method, and a lot of times you'll find college students who just want to get rid of their books. Maybe they missed the opportunity to sell it back to the school, so they just throw it on there maybe from a couple of years back. They went to classes and now they have all these books. They forgot to sell them. It's a great opportunity for you to scoop them up and make some profit on Amazon. Now, method number 6, this is a bit more of an advanced method to be able to source books. You're typically going to spend a little bit more money, and there's a couple more systems and workflows that you're going to have to build into this, but this is what I've been doing for years, and this is how I make the majority of my income on Amazon. I source items doing eBay arbitrage. Now, I'm not selling the books on eBay. What I'm doing is I'm making money through the arbitrage opportunity of finding undervalued deals on eBay and flipping them on Amazon. So what I use is a tool called Replen Catcher. And essentially what this tool does is it monitors eBay 24/7. So this software has about 1 million books in its database. And so what this software does is it looks for books based on the ROI that you want to make, the profit you want to make, how many times it sells per month, so on and so forth. So you can essentially go in, set up a bunch of filters. For example, I want to find books that are under 2 million rank, that make at least a 40% ROI, that make at least $8 profit, that sell at least 2 to 3 times per month or more, or maybe 10 times per month or more. It depends on what type of books you're going after. And this software will share with you all the items on eBay that you can pick up. And the cool thing I like about eBay and using Replen Catcher is I can filter it to show me only best offer options. So it's only going to show me the listings on eBay that have a best offer. So maybe a book is going to make me $7 profit, 40% ROI, which is great. And maybe I, estimate it's going to sell in about a month. But I say, you know what? I want to make an 80% ROI. I want to make a $15 profit. What you could do on eBay, and this is why I love it, you can make a best offer. And for anyone who's ever sold on eBay, you know a lot of times you list up items on eBay and it sits for a month, 2 months, 5 months, 7 months. So a lot of times these eBay sellers picked up these items, for $1 or $2 at the thrift store. They're trying to get 70 and it doesn't sell. You make an offer for 40 and you're able to buy it for 40. They get paid, they make their $30 profit, and then you sell it on Amazon for 90 to 100 bucks. I've done this thousands of times. In the last year, I've sold over $730,000 worth of products like books and DVDs and electronics using the Replen Catcher looking for items. Another cool thing about the Replen Catcher is you can upload a list of all the books that you've sold in the past. So go into your Amazon orders and look at all the books you've sold for $40, $50, $60. Download a CSV file of maybe those 300 books, upload it to Replen Catcher, and guess what? It'll monitor all those books 24/7, and it'll show you all the offers per that ASIN, and then you can go in and make a bunch of best offers. You can buy all the deals. You could set up target price alerts. I mean, Replen Catcher is an absolute game changer, and you can do it for a lot of different products as well. Not only books, but DVDs and CDs and electronics and tools and household items. The list goes on and on. So that's method number 6. Again, it's a bit more advanced. I wouldn't do that as a beginner, but a great way to literally source thousands of books, especially if you're trying to scale past 10,000 a month. Check out Replen Catcher. And last but not least, this is another advanced method. I wouldn't start with this in the beginning, but once you really understand how to source from, thrift stores and garage sales and library sales and estate sales, and maybe you do some local pickups and you do some eBay to Amazon, another great software to use, and you could use this alongside with the Replen Catcher because these are 2 different softwares. It's called Bookmine. Now, Bookmine is a software that my friends Joji and Victor developed. You might know Joji Davenport. He's a really great bookseller. He's got a bunch of YouTube videos. They developed a software that essentially looks for books that have dropped significantly in price. So say, for example, there's a book that normally sells for $60, all year long. Well, sometimes what happens is big booksellers come online on Amazon and they drop the price all the way down to like $15 or $13. But guess what? If you buy those 1 to 2 books, the price goes back up to 60, because think about it. It's usually selling for 60. Maybe there's someone selling it for 60, and then like 2 or 3 people come in at 15. But historically, the true intrinsic value of that book is $60, and you could track it on Keepa over the last year or 2. What Bookmine does is it shows you literally hundreds of deals. It's about 3,000 new deals per hour of books that have dropped in value that have really good potential. Now, again, you are going to spend more money. You have to really make sure you understand how to analyze deals. You're not going to get the amazing profit margins typically, although you still could with Replen Catcher and Bookmine, but typically you're going to have higher margins with thrifting and library sales. But obviously it's a lot more work. You have to go out in the field, you got to hunt, you got to, visit physical locations. Whereas with Replen Catcher and Bookmine, you can source online, have the books come to you, or go to a prep center, and then you don't even have to touch the books. Again, it's a bit more advanced, but highly recommend Bookmine, highly recommend Replen Catcher. So what Bookmine does is it looks for deals that are undervalued on Amazon from merchant sellers. So you might not know this, you can buy books from merchant fulfilled sellers, buy those deals, get them, don't buy them with your Prime account, it's against the terms of service. Get those books that you buy from merchants, the price goes back up, or you time the market down the road and you sell them FBA. It's a method that Joji and Victor have been doing. They've sold, I believe Joji, he did over $100,000 profit last year, and Victor did as well. I think Victor did even more. So definitely check out Bookmine. But yeah, those are the 7 methods, guys. We have thrift stores, great for beginners, library sales and estate sales, garage sales. I'd say an intermediate method would be Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist. And then a couple advanced methods are eBay Arbitrage with Replen Catcher. You can just Google replencatcher.com, or Bookmine. I believe it's Bookmine.co. So I'll put some links down below if you want to check out any of those softwares, or, I'll put a little summary down below of these methods, but hopefully this video helps you. And here's the thing, you don't have to do all these methods. Start thrifting and then maybe add garage sales and then add estate sales. And then over a certain period of time, maybe you want to do some local pickups or do some Facebook Marketplace buys where they ship the items to you. And then eventually when you get to the point where you just can't scale past a certain number because you're spending so much time thrifting and going out, look into Bookmine, look into Replay Catcher, look into, as I mentioned, Facebook Marketplace deals. There's a bunch of other ways to source, but I think this is a really good video for beginners, intermediates, and even folks who are looking to advance and grow and scale their business. So I appreciate you guys watching this video. If you did enjoy this video, do me a favor, smash that like button. Much love. Hopefully this helps. And if you want any more help selling books on Amazon, check out my free 5-day book selling workshop down below, or go to rakeandprofit.com/workshop. It's a 5-hour free training that I did with my friend Avery, and we walk you through all the steps of starting, growing, and building your book business on Amazon. So with that being said, much love. See you in the next one. Bye.